This is our Tennessee walking horse, Filly. Adds Wild Rose. We're just starting her. Eric's just starting her. I mean, she's had a lot of leading and stuff like that. What he's doing here is he's trying to get her to hook on, and what he's going to do is he's going to claim her space. Okay, it's kind of like another horse running in and moving away. Now see, so what he's going to do, see, he went to where she was standing and said, that's my space. And so she's like, uh-oh, okay, I better watch you. And so see how I had a phone call earlier. I missed part of this. Really wish I could have got it. But so he's going back and forth, and he's standing where she was standing. And this is a way to get them to start to pay attention to you, okay? And this kind of stuff's really important. If you don't do it, you're just going to make other things harder and harder. And see, so what did he do? He went right back to her spot. He said, okay, this is my spot. And she goes, wait a minute, I thought that was my spot. And he goes, nope. And now he's going to move off. Okay, so he's going to go claim that spot. So he's going there. Okay, here she is. She's like, now see that throwing her head like that? This is all horse behavior. She's like, she's a little bit not happy with him. You know, she's gonna, you know, like when another horse comes in and starts moving that other horse away or around, they'll take their head and they'll do that thing where they flip their head around and flip their head up in the air and all that. And so this is kind of cool. And before he started doing this, she was looking over the rail, looking out of the pasture. Just her mind was totally in another place. You see, so he's going to take her spot again. And so now she's thinking like, okay, what's going on here? And like when he first started doing it, she was kicking up in the air, and it's all that stuff that a horse does. Unless you've not been around a bunch, like we have a bunch of horses. So I see this kind of stuff all the time when we're moving horses around and everything, how they behave with one another. But if you only have a couple horses, chances are you won't see this kind of stuff, because once they work it out between themselves, they're just buddies, and you don't have this kind of stuff. But when you have a lot of horses like we do, and you're moving horses around, when you're changing the dynamic of the herd all the time, you end up seeing this kind of behavior all the time, where they're taking their head and throwing their head around and kicking out and all that kind of stuff. So he's just going to wait here, and when she stops, he'll probably go claim that spot. Okay, what he did right there was he moved away, and you saw how he drew her in for a second there, but now she just kind of went on her own way. So that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to get her to hook on, and this is really important. I've heard people kind of poo-poo it, but if you don't get the horse to hook on, you're just increasing the amount of time and problems you're going to have. Once they realize that you guys, like getting them hooked on, you become a unit kind of, and it just changes the dynamic of all your training. You see how he walked away the minute she turned towards him, but she still kind of was throwing her head. I've watched stallions do this. Like My one horse, the Diamond Trip, I turned a few mares out with him, and one of the mares, it was a mare that looks a lot like her. Her name's Bugs. She wanted to go back to the barn, and he had his mares up in a far corner, and that's where he wanted them. Well, and he was probably, I don't know, 50 yards away, something like that. And the Bugs would start making her way back down to the barn area. And she'd kind of graze, and well, then all of a sudden he'd catch on her, and he'd bow his neck, and get all stallion-y and real prancy, and fling his head around, and she'd kick out, and she'd run back up to those other mares. And he'd start grazing again. And, you'd think they weren't paying attention to each other, but they were. And next thing you know, within a few minutes, she starts making her way back down to the barn. Like, see how she's looking out? If that panel wasn't there, she'd be gone. It just shows you where her mind is. So anyhow, going back to Bugs, would end up making her way back down, and Trip would fling his neck and get all stallion-y, and he'd even put his head down real low like a predator kind of thing. They do this thing where they wag their head, and he'd chase her back up to the area where he wanted, where the other mares were. And she was just telling him, I'm not sure you're the stallion for me. And this is what mares do a lot. And I think this is why some people don't like mares. It's because mares, you kind of have to prove yourself to them. And a lot of people don't prove themselves to their horses. They're really not good leaders. And so a mare can be problematic for you if you don't do that. But when you do put the effort in, and when they do accept you as their leader, they're just really rock solid. I love mares. But you see how he's not really even doing anything. He's just standing there. See? And she turned. He turned and took a step away, and she came in, and then she said, nope. I'd still rather be out there. So he's going to, watching her. See how she's still looking out. So she's not present with him. She's not hooked on. So this is the first lesson. If you don't get this done right, you're just wasting your time. And you can have a super friendly, very friendly horse. This filly is super friendly. I mean, she leads like a dream. She'll come up to you when you're out in the pasture. She's just a love. But she's not convinced he's the one for her yet, right? There's no question where her attention is. Look, it's out anywhere but by him. See how he's turning away, trying to draw her in. But she's just telling him, no, I already have a leader. I actually brought her in from a pasture where the stallion she was with, who is the Diamond Trip, he's bred her, and I took her out of there. And so she's probably thinking, I've already got a leader. That's Trip over there. So that's where her mind probably is. But he's just got to get her back. Look, see, no, she looked towards him, and he started to walk away, and then she shook her head and said no. There. See, the second she looked towards him, Walked away, took the pressure off. There, it's drawing right up. Yep, see how she looked at him and he immediately turned and walked away, took the pressure off. He's trying to draw her in. But she's just really not paying attention. Here. See, he walked away, see him? There. See, he walked away? I'm not the one, girl. See what he did there to get her attention back. He's flicking the flag a little bit. She's a filly out of my stud, Blue-Blooded Bandit, and my mare, JP, who's Jose's paroled at the Ritz. I think she's 3 right now. What he's doing here, her whole lesson here is he just wants her to pay attention to him. That's it right now. And as you can see, she's not. She keeps looking outside the round pen, and he's having a hard time getting her attention. Now you heard him flick the flag there. He's trying to get her to draw in. There. When she looked, he walked away. Eric had been, claiming her space and moving away and trying to get her hook on, and we just stood outside the round pen and let her think about things for a little bit. And now, here, this is her that she's hooked on. Sometimes you just have to give them time to digest it. So this is what we're looking for, them to get hooked on like this. And let's see. Yep, see? There. So this is what you call the draw, trying to get them drawing. Oh, she decided to go the other way. Got her attention. There, see? Oh, lost her again. There you go. That'll be probably a good place to stop right here. Yep, so now he's going to let her think about it again. Okay, he went back in. We were just talking. He said he felt like he pushed it too much, and that's why she walked away the other time. So he's not going to do it this time, so he's just going to be more careful with it. So much about horse training is getting and keeping their attention on you. So she's following him. She's hooked on now. There you go. There she goes. He's like, okay. Lost her. Yeah, he's got her back now. Just have to be patient with this stuff.